Are you ready for some unindoctrination? I'm Jeffey Daugherty, coming to you from the heartland of America and straight from my heart to yours, I hope. The most important thing we'll ever tell you here on the Christian Whistleblower Show is that you do not have original sin. You've got the spark of divinity within. You're divine, you're sovereign, you're free, so you don't have to go on bended knee to anybody's savior. And they always say they've got the only one in town. They don't. You've got life and life more abundant and peace that passes all understanding. And today we're going to get into a great subject, outwitting the devil, the Napoleon Hill classic. And I've gone back through it deeper than ever before, and it's some amazing stuff. And I can't wait to share this with you. You're seeing some of the videos move off of the YouTube channel. They're over at my website, jeffreydaugherty.com. You can see them there. And, of course, under the Cousins Club private viewer, private pages that we are now offering as a premium service. And speaking of premium services, man, there ain't nothing more premium than the Mistech. The Mistech logo is up in the corner of the video. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com, take a look, click on the Mistech logo or the Mistech tab. We've got blood tests, we've got EMF tests, we've got Kirlian photography test. It is amazing stuff, and it will add a great deal to your regimen of physical optimization. So let's go today, right now, into our study, and it's going to be a good one. Everybody else is talking gloom or doom, and we're making more room for excellence within our lives. We're going to talk about outwitting the devil, and we're going to talk about it right now, folks. Are you ready? Outwitting the devil, the Napoleon Hill classic. And that's what the book looks like. And Outwitting the Devil is a work of fiction. Or is it? Or is it? And it was written in 1938. Written in 1938. Didn't get published until 2011. It was considered too controversial to be published in its era. The book was written as an interview between Hill and the devil, wherein Hill attempts to uncover the secrets to freedom and success by evaluating the greatest obstacles that humans face in order to attain their personal goals in life. The book talks about outwitting the devil, the difference between drifters and non-drifters, maintaining a definiteness of purpose, finding one's other self, Hill's 7 principles, law of hypnotic rhythm. We'll talk about all that. I'm not so sure it's a work of fiction. I'm really not. It's a powerful work. It changed my life, and I don't think it's too much to say that without the work of Napoleon Hill and without Outwitting the Devil, you wouldn't be here, because this channel wouldn't be here. This is a powerful book, and I hope that you do read it. This is Napoleon Hill in his senior years. We're all going to get there. And he wrote this book after he wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. And if you want to have any success in life, not just in business, not just in money, not just in acquiring things, if you want to have any success in life, I highly recommend that you read Think and Grow Rich. So impressed was I with the book that I actually wrote a little book called something like the spiritual somethings of Think and Grow Rich. I wrote it a long time ago. I can't remember the name of it, but it pulls out spiritual emphases from Think and Grow Rich. Just an amazing book. But he wrote the book Think and Grow Rich, believing that everybody that read it would think and grow rich. But it didn't happen for some reason for everybody that read it. So Mr. Hill started writing Outwitting the Devil, and it was his hope that he could find out, discover, and share why some people were still running into failure after following all of the steps in Think and Grow Rich. His wife didn't want the book published because it talked about the devil, and Mrs. Hill refused to publish it even after Napoleon Hill's death. And it wasn't until she died in 1984 that the rights were purchased. And you know how things go sometimes. It took from 1984 all the way until 2011. And here's a little bit of I don't know if this is a joke or if it's just an ignorant statement, because I'm going to show it just because it's this type of thinking that'll get you nowhere. It's this type of thinking that has people trolling on the internet instead of doing something useful with their lives. If you want to be rich and successful, write a book. Do you know how many damn people have written books that aren't? Don't be ignorant, Troy. Don't be ignorant. Finally, 2011, the book gets published. And I wonder, this book's written in 1938, and it was fought so much, and there was so much energy used against it that it didn't get published until 2011. I wonder if the great amount of energy spent to keep this book from being published is indicative of the great truths that lie within its pages. And I would say yes, yea, verily, if you want to wax biblical. Very, 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 very powerful stuff. And Rich says, if that were true, the book would have been called Write and Grow Rich. But you got to, before you write, you got to think. So, and before you make stupid statements, you should think. But anyway, it's speaking engagements from the books that earns one money, not the book sales. Well, yeah, and if you got a sorry book, nobody wants to hear you anyway. But anyway, we're going to move on. We're not going to get trapped into that rabbit hill. Napoleon Hill, he's the guy that wrote the book. Born in 1883, died in 1970. And he's known as an American self-help author, one of the top self-help authors. His best book, or as far as sales goes, was Think and Grow Rich, 1937. It's among the 10 best-selling self-help books of all time. And his main thing was fervid expectations are essential to improving one's life. What does that mean? That means you've got to have a whole lot of want to. You've got to have a whole lot of initiative. You've got to have if it's meant to be, it's up to me. You've got to have just a sold out 120%. I'm going to do it or fail miserably trying. People that fail, that have this type of a mindset, they don't fail for lack of trying. They crash and burn spectacularly when and if they do, but it's always fun. So fervid expectations. You got to expect something from yourself. You got to expect the best from yourself. And this is just coming to me. Shut up, Tracy. This is just coming to me. If you expect the worst out of everything, you'll expect the worst out of yourself. That's another thing that I don't like about these gurus of gloom, these gurus of doom. They expect the worst out of everything. The world's going to hell. The country's going to hell. The economy's going to hell. The government's going to hell. Everything's terrible. Well, guess what? If everything's terrible, you're included in everything, so you're terrible too. If all you do is bitch and moan and bemoan about how bad things are going to be, all you're going to be focused on is how bad things are going to be. And you are going to be in a world where things are bad, where things are shitty, because you got shitty thinking. Your mind is darkened. Your mind is dull. Your mind is dead. Your mind is filled with diarrhea. All you can talk about is how bad things are. All you can talk about is how bad things are going to be. It's no wonder you look like you do and sound like you do, and the people that listen to you look and sound like they do. Let's do something positive. Let's do something that actually does something instead of just says, oh, it's going to be bad anyway, so let's just hold on till it happens. I think that's a manly signature. During 1937, Hill published the best-selling book, Think and Grow Rich, which became Hill's best-known work. His new wife contributed substantially to the authoring and editing of Think and Grow Rich. His biographers say that it sold 20 million copies over 50 years. That's a lot of books, ladies and gentlemen. And Think and Grow Rich and Interview with the Devil are kind of hand in hand, I think. Or Outwitting the Devil. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So let's get into this. The key that turns life's lock. That's not a Hill phrase. That's a phrase that I put up there. Hill presented the notion of a definite major purpose. You always hear me talk about a great basic purpose. Same thing, different words. And your great basic purpose, your definite major purpose is what you've got to have if you're ever going to be anything. And all these people that aren't anything don't have one of these. And I think I would say that it is extremely rare for someone that has and knows and possesses and is possessed by, colloquially speaking, metaphorically speaking, their great basic purpose, their definite major purpose. Those people are successful. Those people are happy. Those people are fulfilled. Those people are getting something done. You don't see people with a great basic purpose sitting around doing nothing unless your great basic purpose is to just bitch and moan, and maybe some of yours is because you're good at it. But here's what Hill questioned. Here's what Hill encouraged readers to ask themselves, and I think you could say I do too. In what do you truly believe? And I don't like the word believe because it's got a lie in the middle of it. What do you know? Forget about what you believe. What do you know? I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing right here, right now, what I'm doing. And what do you know about you? What does Rich know about Rich? Tracy know about Tracy. Jay know about Jay. Jama know about Jama. Elizabeth know about Elizabeth. What do you know? 98% of people have few or no strong beliefs, which makes their success very unlikely. Think of that. 98% of people, and I think that's dead on accurate. Just ask 10 people and see what kind of answers you get. 98% of people have no or few very, very strong knowings. Forget about beliefs, knowings. What do you know? And it makes success very, very unlikely. And this explains the rise of YouTube gurus. This is Dyer's on it. This explains the rise of popes, pastors, priests, preachers, and gurus. 98 out of 100 people don't know anything. So they'll believe anything. Most of those that don't know anything are likely to believe anything. And when you don't know anything about yourself, Francois, if you don't know anything about Lionel, if you don't know anything about Tracy, then you will believe in another person. I believe his message. I believe her message. That's because you don't know a damn thing about you. That's a key right there. That's worth the price of admission. You've got to get to the place in your life, if you're ever going to do anything that is remarkable, if you're ever going to do anything that leaves an impact on this world, you got to know some things about you. What am I here for? And what am I here to do? If you don't know those things, you might as well not even get out of bed in the morning. And if you're following preachers, pastors, prophets, popes, or gurus, then you don't know anything about yourself. So you believe in somebody else. Now, Hill took some crap, and that's the technical term. He took some crap, and this was off of Wikipedia. Hill openly described visits from spirits in chapter 12 of his book, Think and Grow Rich, or Grow Rich with Peace of Mind, in 1967. He described them as unseen friends, unseen watchers, strange beings in the great school of masters that had been guarding him and who had maintained his school of wisdom. He states that the master spoke to him, revealing secret knowledge, yada, 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 so on and so forth. That's not true. Let me explain what's going on here. You heard about, if you watched the show the other day, you heard Halo talking about his Council of Halos. Halo believes, and I agree with him, that there are different timelines right now. And Halo believes that the best person to help Halo is Halo. I believe the best person to help Jeff is Jeff. So what Halo does is Halo has a little council, has a little conference, has a little talk with other Halos. Most of you call up a guru or call up to somebody else. Halo calls Halo. See, step one is quit going to other people when you got a problem. Quit calling up your guru, your pastor, your preach, your prophet, your phony, and asking them, what should I do? First of all, you start going to you. What should I do? You start looking inside yourself. You look to your divinity, your sovereignty, your freedom. And you stop being a baby and you start being a grown-up and you stop being a whiny little bitch and you take yourself by your own bootstraps and you fix your shit. That's step one of being a force in life. We're not looking for exceptional leaders. We're becoming exceptional leaders. If you're looking for an exceptional leader, wrong channel. We're not looking for exceptional leaders. We're building exceptional leaders. And you've got to be your own exceptional leader. And then once you find out, oh, I can go to myself, but I can also go to my other selves. That's advanced knowledge because there's more of you than just this one. And that's what a council of halos is. Now, what they're talking about, Hill had a council of advisors. He would have people that some alive, some not alive anymore, that he believed in, that he trusted their advice. And he would convene a council. I used to do the same thing. Haven't done it in a while. Need to get back to it. But I'm really moving towards the Council of Jeffs, to be frank with you. Because, I mean, I used to have Donald Trump before he was president. I used to have Napoleon Hill. I used to have W. Clement Stone. Used to have L. Ron Hubbard. Don't you judge me. Used to have, I can't remember who else was on that council. But I had these people. Hannibal Lecter was on that council, believe it or not. Don't judge me. There's reasons. There's reasons. Were they really there? Probably not. But was I able to access areas of my own psyche and my own ability that I wasn't able to access without externalizing to other so-called beings? Yeah, probably. And were some of them there? Yeah, probably. Was I tapping into knowledge that was beyond me? Yeah, probably. That's why you got to be careful. That's what Hill did. It's advanced shit, no doubt about it. And if you can't even, if you're still going to, if you have to go to other people for answers, don't do this. If you've got to run to some guru, some ascended master, some spirit guide, some angel, if you got to go to them for answers, don't do this. Way too dangerous for you. You're not ready yet. But if you know how to go to yourself and get answers, and if you don't depend on anybody but you, then you can depend upon other yous. And you can, when you really get good, you can leverage the power of all of those Jeffs and all of those dimensions, and they will focus all their energy on getting done what you need to get done here and now. Boom, it's powerful. So that's what Hill was talking about. And the key that turns life's lock is having a great basic purpose, a definite major purpose. And the other key that turns life lock is stop being a whiny little bitch. Stop going to everybody else. If you have a problem and the first thing you do is pick up a phone, you're a whiny little bitch. This is real hard love here. If you've got a problem and you need an answer and the first thing you do is pick up a phone, you're a whiny little bitch. The first thing you ought to do when you have a real problem and you need to make a real decision, you've got to figure things out, is you ought to go to the inner self. You ought to go inside. You ought to get in touch with your divinity, your sovereignty, your freedom. And I'll say it again. If you're going to somebody else when you have a problem, you're a whiny little bitch and you got a lot of work to do. Now, I'm not saying that's bad. We all were whiny little bitches. We all were whiny little bitches. But step one is stop going to other people for answers. Step two is stop going to other people for answers. Go to other yous for answers. Powerful stuff. And I know none of this makes sense to you. And one of the reasons it doesn't make sense to you is that a lot of you still are not, for some reason, operating in a focused life force energy high consciousness field. If you could have a high consciousness field beamed to you on demand, why wouldn't you? Cynthia was talking just before the show, and I never thought about it this way, but she knows somebody that has a haunted house, and she says, well, we're going to put this on their house. And I'm like, boom. I am willing to bet, and I'm going to talk to Jeffrey and Clayton. I'll bet you if you've got Fluffy on a house, it can't be haunted because those entities can't stay in a high consciousness environment. Powerful stuff. But anyway, go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the Fluffy logo. You get 30 days for free, but you might as well just get it because you're going to want it. You're going to want it. So that's Hill and Spirits. Outwitting the Devil. Supposedly a work of fiction. I don't think it was. I think it's real. I think it's true. I think it's actual. I really do. And we're going to talk about the difference between drifting and not drifting. We're going to talk about having this definiteness of purpose, this great basic purpose. Finding your other self. See, this is stuff we're talking about. 7 principles, hypnotic rhythm. We'll get to all that. But we got a lot of work to do first. Fear. Fear is the ultimate tool, ladies and gentlemen, of all devils. Devils of every kind and stripe. Fear is their ultimate tool. And fear is the tool of a man-made devil. And for all practical purposes, all of the devils that most of you, even you cousins, will ever face are man-made devils. Very few of you, very, very few of you. You're right, Brandon, and you're smart to realize that. Very, very few of you will ever face a real devil because there's very, very few of them. Self-confident faith in oneself is both the man-made weapon which defeats this devil and the man-made tool which builds a triumphant life. You cannot be self-confident and fearful. I fear nothing. And if I did fear, then I wouldn't be self-confident. And if I were self-confident, I don't fear. And even though this stings a little bit, if you still have fears, your self-confidence is lacking. Your self-confidence is lacking. Material, yes and no, and wait, I'll get to that. If you're truly self-confident, you will have no fear. Because if you're truly self-confident that this ain't me, and if I die, I'm just getting a promotion, what could you possibly fear? There's nothing in this world, nothing that can happen to you in this life that is able to create fear, because you're beyond this life through your self-confidence. And then you use that to build a triumphant life. There's a reason why there's this old saying out there that the man that is most to be feared is the one that has nothing left to lose. About a year ago, I found out I got nothing to lose. That's why I've become very, very dangerous, and I'm becoming even more dangerous because I flat don't care. I'm not afraid of anything. I got nothing to lose. Boom, here I am. There's nothing you can do to me. Kill me? Great. I don't want to die. I'm not going to kill myself. I got things to do, but I don't fear it. I don't fear it, and I don't make it a big issue. And it's more than that, folks. The link to the irresistible forces of the universe, which stand behind a man who does not believe in failure and defeat as being anything but temporary experiences. I don't fail very often, but I do fail more than most people because I try more. I do more things. I try more things. I take more risks because that makes life a lot more fun. And there's nothing remarkable in your comfort zone. But most of you won't ever dare to go outside your comfort zone. That's why you never fail. Well, I've never failed. Well, you never did anything either. And that is failure in my definition. But the man that knows sorry for the typo, the man that knows no fear rules his own destiny. And until you know no fear, you won't rule your own destiny. Period. The end. Even if you don't believe me, hold on. Fear is the tool of a man-made devil, said Napoleon Hill. Think about it. It's true. All fears are tools of men. What kind of fears do we face? We face religious fears. That's why it's called a fear and guilt control matrix. We face job fears. We face relationship fears. And we face our own fears. Fear is never helpful. So material class, I was taught, well, you got to harness fear. No, you don't harness fear. Here's why. Fear is never helpful. Fear is paralyzing. You're calling something fear that's not fear. Material classified. Well, Jeff, and this is what he was getting to. What about fight or flight? Fight or flight has nothing to do with fear. Fear paralyzes. Fight or flight pushes you into an action. It's not fear that makes you fight, and it ain't fear that makes you run. It's data based on experience and a great big chemical rush that's dumped into your system. Fear doesn't give you those chemicals. Fear gives you the can't do nothing, can't go anywhere. That's what fear does. It paralyzes you. That's why it's no bueno. And it's never bueno. Fear does not have any positive aspects. Fight or flight does, but that's not fear. Fear paralyzes you, and fear makes you look to another for protection and preservation. Fear does not cause fight. That's wrong. It doesn't. Fear causes paralysis. You can't fight when you're paralyzed, Sky. You can't. Fear does not cause fighting. Fear is like, Fear causes inaction. Fear causes you to go, mama, daddy, pastor, guru. That's what fear does. That's what fear does. Sheep flock together under a shepherd out of what? Out of fear. And for what? For desire of protection. Boom, Tracy. Fear's rotted in lack. I got nothing. I'm afraid. Wow. Wow. And if you're looking to flock together, you're flocked up and you're fearful. If you're looking for a shepherd, you're stupid and you're fearful. If you've got a desire to gather together for protection, if you've got a desire to have a shepherd, you're in fear and you need to set yourself free. The devil of religious fear. Think about religious fear. You're born with original sin and on your way to hell to burn forever in torment. That's fear. And even if you get saved, you're still just a sinner saved by grace. You still have the fear of falling out of grace. It can happen, you know. That's fear. Even if you're a good boy or girl, you still have to fear God. That's fear. If he gets mad at you, he'll punish you. God on a shelf. You still have to fear for what's going to happen. Oh my God, mark of the beast, be afraid. Head chopping off, be afraid. Tribulation, be afraid. Crash, crash, be afraid, oh my. That's why people herd together as sheep under a shepherd, because they think that's their only chance. And the shepherds will tell you that. Our only chance is to come together. No, wrong. Your only chance is to get past fear and have some trust and strength and some power down in here, not somewhere out there, not over here, not over there. The devil of religious fear, the devil of job fear. You better go to college and get a good job. But I don't want to go to college. I think college is, sorry for that. I couldn't get to the mute button in time. It snuck up on me. Forgot all day long to take my allergy stuff until just before the show. You better go to college and get a good job. Well, number one, what you'll end up doing is spending $100,000 on college and still managing a McDonald's. And nothing on somebody that's managing a McDonald's. Just, did you go to school for 4 or 6 years and still wind up managing McDonald's? You shouldn't have gone to school that long. College is nothing but indoctrination and enslavement. Get yourself a technical degree. Learn to do something. Find your great basic purpose, even better. Well, you better take a job so you won't starve. Who cares if it's in alignment with your great basic purpose? We don't know what that is anyway, 98% of you, so there you go. And then you wonder, why do I hate my job? Because it's not you. You better get a job with good benefits in retirement, no matter how bad it sucks. No matter how bad your job sucks, you better keep it so you're not broke and homeless. Better not follow your dream. Don't even consider it. It'll affect your job. Folks, guess what? There's two kinds of people in this world. Ones with jobs and ones with dreams. Which one are you? You better go build somebody else's dream. We're all building dreams. Those with jobs are building somebody else's dreams. Those with dreams are building their own. Wow, that's pretty powerful. That's pretty powerful. How about relationship fear? Well, he or she, not what I'm really looking for, but they're better than being alone. That's fear. Oh, well, you better lock him or her down because that's the best you'll ever get. Not really the one you want, but you probably won't get any better. That's fear. Oh, don't wait on the one. You'll lose out. That's fear. Well, better the devil you know. That's fear. Don't let him or her know how you really feel. Don't let him or her know who you really are. They'll leave you. That's fear. What would I do alone? Fear. How can I make it alone? Fear. What if she gets with somebody else? I let her go and she gets someone. Fear. This is living in fear. And this is why, if these are your motivations, you don't have the relationship you want. This is needy people. You complete me is probably the biggest lie that Tom Cruise ever told. You complete you. If you're looking for somebody to complete you, it's a mess and it's broken and it won't ever work. Whole people, one whole person plus another whole person is what it takes to make a relationship work. And even then, it ain't easy. Well, kind of is for me, but it won't be for you. Trust me. The devil of self-fear. What if people reject me? Fuck them. Sorry, it just automatically came out. It just automatically came out. What if people reject me? What if I try and fail? Better safe than sorry. Easier to depend on someone else than myself. What if I'm not good enough? What if I blaspheme the Holy Ghost? Why not just play it safe? Fears. Self-fear. This is one of the original pages of Outwitting the Devil. And it's got Hill's handwritten comments on it. And if you look up here, he wanted to call it, and he didn't get it. He didn't win this argument, but Outwitting the Devil by the man who broke the devil's code and forced him to confess. I would have said by the man who broke the devil's nose, code and nose, and forced him to confess. The devil hates a strong will. The devil hates a strong will. And when you are physically optimized, you've got a very strong will. And C60 Purple Power helps you to be physically optimized. Go to c60purplepower.com, use the code TCW10, and you're going to get a great discount on the Fountain of Youth, on the best antioxidant on the planet, on the product that Cliff High says keeps him and his wife alive. That's pretty strong. We'd be dead without this. That's what they say. Who might argue with them? Devil, by the classic biblical definition, means adversary. And we all have those in life. We have adversaries. And all of those adversaries have codes. And all of those codes can be broken. And all of those adversaries can be made to confess. It's just a matter of will. Does your adversary have a stronger will than you do? Then they will be victorious. You will not break their code. They will not confess. And you will live under their will. But if you can build your strength of will, you can make your adversaries to confess. You can break their codes. And you can be the victor. It's a matter of will. How much you got? How strong is yours? Now, why are we doing this? Because success leaves evidence or clues. And Mr. Hill wrote this. For more than a quarter of a century, my major purpose has been that of isolating and organizing into a philosophy of achievement the causes of both failure and success, with the object of being helpful to others who have neither the inclination nor the opportunity to engage in this form of research. It's May now. I'm celebrating 40 years of unindoctrination. That's almost 2/4 of a century. My purpose has been to isolate and organize into a philosophy that can be achieved. The cause is of both spiritual failure and spiritual sovereignty. The object is to help others who don't have over 100,000 hours in 40 years to find this information, to give them access to this information, and give them the opportunity to engage in the application of that information should they choose to avail themselves of it. Mr. Hill thought to learn the secrets of success by interviewing successful men and women, finding out how they came by their successes, and writing stories of it. I spent 40 years looking and interviewing and talking to successful people and unsuccessful people. And I spent 40 years across the spiritual spectrum figuring out what works and figuring out what doesn't work. What's better than asking a person, does it work or not? Seeing for yourself if it works or not. I've been amongst the spiritual elite. If you wanted to interview spiritually successful people, I could have been one of the guys you interview. I know what works. From 40 years of trying things and seeing them work. I know what doesn't work. From 40 years of trying things and seeing them not work. 40 years is a great sampling. 40 years from Pentecostalism all the way through the fringes of New Age. I know what works. I know what doesn't work. So all I'm trying to do with this channel is show you 40 years of research, show you the results of 40 years of research, showing you what I found over 40 years works, showing you what I found over 40 years doesn't work. And then you can take that information and you can decide, or you can decide, yeah. But you have access to that data. I encourage you to look at that data and not just reject it because it hurts your feelings. But it's up to you. It's up to you. And this is a practice that Hill was talking about called modeling. And modeling's good, but you got to make sure you got a good model. I've modeled people that shouldn't have been modeled before, and with predictable results. But if you really know what you're supposed to do, you found your great basic purpose, find somebody else that's already doing it, and then do what they do. Now, you don't have to do it exactly the way they do it. You don't have to do the exact same things, but you do the things that they're doing in the same way. I modeled Rex Bear. Now, do Rex and I do things the same way? Not even close. But we both make a lot of videos. We both are ourselves. We both talk about a lot of different things. I've modeled Rex. Didn't copy Rex, but modeled Rex. Well, Jeff, you only got 43,000. Well, it's almost 44, so shut up. But when I met Rex, I had like 750. A couple years ago, 750 subscribers. Now, boom, 44,000. But look at the views. Views off the charts. And that's what we're about, is the views. The subscribers will come, but the views, when your mission is to get out a message, you're worried about the views, not the subscribers. That's why I'm worried about views. So I modeled Rex. And you can use that to be successful in anything you want to do. Find someone else that does what you want to do, watch what they do, and then do what they do. It ain't that hard, but you got to be committed. Success leaves clues, and so does failure. One of the people that Napoleon Hill interviewed was Andrew Carnegie, the great baron and tycoon of business. And Mr. Carnegie said, hey, do you have the guts to hear something and do what I say? And he said, your idea of writing about great men and women who are successful is a great idea, but you also have to talk to people about what the causes of failure are, as well as the causes of success. And this is true in any endeavor which leads itself to measurement. That's why, Jeff, why can't you just be nice? Jeff, why can't you just tell us you love us and give us favor and smile at us? And why can't you just be unicorns and rainbows and nice? Well, in case you haven't noticed, the world isn't all rainbows and unicorns and nice. And in case you didn't notice, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make points. Like, here's what I found. This is how it works. Take it or leave it. I'm not here to build a following. I'm here to unburden myself of information I'm supposed to give to people. I'm not here to build a cult. In fact, no, you can't come over. Cynthia buys a bottle of wine. What's this for? I'm going to take it over and give it to the neighbors. Why do you want to do that? They might think we want to be friends. That's what I said. I don't want to be friends with nobody. I got all I need. I don't coddle people. I tell you like it is, because my give a damn, remember the give a damn, it's busted. And until the give a damn is busted, the person cannot be trusted. One thing you know you'll get from me is the truth straight up, shaken, and stirred. Straight up, shaken, and stirred. Cousins. The world is in need of a practical, understandable philosophy of achievement, organized from factual knowledge gained from the experience of men and women in the great university of life. In the field of philosophy, I find nothing which even remotely resembles the sort of philosophy which I have in mind. We have few philosophers who are capable of teaching men and women the art of living. That's what Andrew Carnegie said. We need to learn how to achieve in all areas of life. Mr. Carnegie is letting us know that the process of unindoctrination is just as important as the process of learning what is right. In truth, error must be unlearned before you can get new information. In fact, error must be unlearned before you can get new information. You got to be unindoctrinated first. That's why unindoctrination is the mother of enlightenment. That's why I do what I do. And Andrew Carnegie said, the job will require at least 20 years. Well, it took me 40. I'm slow. Of continuous effort, during which the one who undertakes it will have to earn his living from some other source, because this sort of research is never profitable at the outset. Trust me, I know. Work really, really hard for 6 or 7 years, and you can be an overnight success. But it's a challenge and a real-world disclaimer for those wanting to launch into a truly helpful. I want to build my channel. You got to have something in your bags before you take a trip. What do you know? What have you done? Where have you been? Overnight revelation is a deception. A foolish person follows a person without any time and grade. That's a military term. That means before you become I'll try to remember Army rank. Before you become a corporal, you got to have a certain amount of time and grade as a private. So everybody that's a corporal was a private for a certain amount of time. Did you ever notice the gurus in the New Age movement, the gurus on YouTube, all the gurus that are telling you what to do and how to do in prophecy, and it's terrible and it's bad and this and that? Do you notice that they're all Johnny and Jilly come latelys? They all, I got a message. Oh, or I'll, I channeled it from the dark side of Uranus and I have the knowledge. What you got is some bullshit. Oh, the Father told me. Cool story, brah. Oh, the Archangel Michael told me. Cool story, sister. Well, 40 years of real world shit told me. Real life. Right here. Doing it, seeing it, trying it, watching it burn, watching it soar. You can listen to the Johnny and Jilly come latelys that got a message from their anus and all of a sudden they want to put it into your brain. But I don't recommend it, and neither did Andrew Carnegie, and neither did Napoleon Hill. Overnight revelation is a deception. A foolish person follows a person without any time and grade. You can go home with Johnny and Jilly come lately, but you're going to wake up alone and with a disease and no wallet. And you're going to have to do the walk of shame. And you'll have to do the walk of shame. So ends part 1 of Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil. And there's a lot of devils out here that you got to outwit. But that's all right, because most of them are half-wits when you know how to look. Daz the Druid, archangels and angels are untrustworthy. Boom! Let me show that piece of wisdom coming over from Twitter, a.k.a. Periscope. Thank you, Daz the Druid. Thanks for taking us into the chat portion of this with some good shit. Okay, folks. Oh, this is good stuff. It took me a long time to do this, but it was worth it. That's good, and that's only part 1. Whew, there's going to be some good stuff in this. Stockholm Syndrome. Yep, absolutely. Fear is rooted in lack. Fear causes self-defeat. Let's see. That's why fear God is the most telling of that spirit who really belongs to. Okay, deprogram. Let me share something with you. This is a great point. Well, Jeff, you know that you shouldn't talk bad about the gurus on YouTube that still believe the Bible. You shouldn't talk bad about the gurus on YouTube who still believe parts of the New Testament. They say they don't believe everything. They say that they just pick this part and they don't want that part. You shouldn't judge them so harshly, Jeff. The Bible says this. The Bible says that there's one thing that's the beginning of wisdom. And there is one thing that is the beginning of biblical wisdom. And I don't care if you take some of it or all of it. Well, we just want this part, but not that part. You really can't do that. But I don't even care if you're trying. There's the Bible, the AHAK, everything having to do with crucifixion, atonement, salvation, Holy Ghost, carry your cross, red letters, black letters, All of it comes from this one place that says, here's the thing that's the beginning of wisdom. You know what the beginning of wisdom is in the fear and guilt blood magic control matrix? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Jeff, it doesn't say that. Oh, really? You're going to make me prove it. And I don't mind you making me prove it. But the problem is that most of the people that want me to prove this, it's not going to make any damn difference anyway. You're going to go on and believe what you want to believe and still go back to your guru and your gurette. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Proverbs 9 and 10. How did I forget that? Let me show you. Oh, it's even better. It's even better. Oh, thank you for making me prove this. Watch this, cousins. Watch this. Watch this. This is really, really good. This is long. Sorry. And I'm a little hungry. Hungry! I'll try not to get hangry, but don't push me in the chat room. The fear. Well, Jeff, it just means the respect. Oh, really? What does that... I almost said fucking word, but I won't. What does that say? Does that say respect? Does that say reverence? Does that say honor? No, it says fear, bitch. Fear. Fear, not respect, not honor, not reverence. Fear. Fear. The house is on Yira. Like fire. It's from Yare. What's Yare mean? Affright. Oh, but it means respect, and it means bullshit, bitch. It means to be frightened and fearful. Affrighted and fearful. Check that shit out. Get that corn out of my face. And that corn that's already been eaten. And you know what I mean. Think about it. It's not reverence. It's not respect. It's not honor. It's fear and fright. Fear and fright of the rat bastard is the beginning. What's the beginning? The beginning, the halal. It defines it. It's the very beginning. In other words, you can't get even started unless you got that, which in this case is fear and fright. It's the beginning of what? Wisdom. It's the beginning of wisdom. It's the beginning of chakam. It's the only way to be wise. Are you picking this up? The only way to be wise in any of that Christian bullshit is to have fear and fright from the jump. But wait, that's just the Lord. No. And knowledge, what else? You got to have knowledge. You got to have yada, yada. You got to be afraid of that bitch. Of what? The Holy One. Well, we don't worship the Lord. We worship Jebus or Jeshuba. Oh, that's your Holy One? Well, guess what? If it's related to that book, it's still based in fear, and you got to be afraid to get it. Ooh, thank you for making me show that. That was powerful. Powerful. Ay, that was good stuff. Thank you, D program. I like it. I like it a lot. I hate that saying, but it just fit. I had to do it. Had to do it. Fear will cause you to cower in your own home. Yes, it will. Fear is feeling that you're not enough. And Lisa says sheep are only protected until the slaughter. But not even then, Lisa. And I always wonder, is Lisa the one on the left or the one on the right? But anyway, it doesn't matter. That's just the things that happen in here. Sheep are not protected. They're sequestered. Because remember, they're fleecing you before they eat you. Eat you just the end. They're fleecing you. They're cutting off that wool and they're making merchandise of it. That's a perfect analogy to energetic vampirism. You cut that wool off of that sheep. You take it, and they're naked, right? And then you take that sheep or that wool to market and you make some money. And then that sheep grows some more wool and you shear it. After a while, sheep stops growing wool. So then you kill it and eat it. So sheep aren't really protected. They're just sequestered. I get what you're coming from, Lisa, but that's just a little revy drop, whether you're on the left or on the right. What else we got here? Get the flock out of Christianity. Absolutely. Elizabeth's laughing out loud. Learn to dig in your heels. They've actually made people fearful, yet flock together through Zoom and separate screens. They're ever fearful of being in contact with other humans. Wear a mask is covering the voice. Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of it, but there is a difference. You're right. Very important. Bless you. Thank you. I thought it was. College was a waste of time and money. Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you. Ooh, and this is what a job is. Just over broke. That's the way they want to keep you. That's the way they want to keep you. See, that's the way it is, Brandon. I have dreams, but unfortunately, you got to work your jobs to fuel your dreams. Just the way it happens. Let's say that you really feel that, and I'm just picking on this because of your picture. Let's say that you really feel like you're here to play the guitar for a living. Well, that's kind of good because most of the time you're playing guitars at night, which means you can do a lot of work during the day and do some cocaine or something so you don't need to sleep. I'm kidding. Guitar players, cocaine. Come on, work with me. But this is actually a decent example. So you can work a job during the day and you can play some guitar at night. And if it really is, you're in great basic purpose, you'll get better playing that guitar. And sooner or later, somebody's going to say, damn, Brandon plays a hell of a guitar. Let's have Brandon and his band play at our bar. And that even rhymes. So then all of a sudden, you'll start making some money playing at the bar every couple of months. Then all of a sudden, you're doing really good. And the bar says, yo, can you play every month? Yeah. Well, can you play every week? Yeah. And you see, here's job money and here's guitar money. But as Brandon gets better at the guitar money starts coming up. And as guitar money comes up, quit working so much. And sooner or later, you'll get guitar money where job money used to be. Then quit that damn job and focus on playing the guitar. Fill in the blank with anything. That's how I did it. And here I am. Happiness is an inside job. Flock them. You can be lonelier with someone than alone. Yep. Jimmy Swaggart once told me it's better to be single wishing you were married than married wishing you were single. Ain't that the truth? I'm my favorite person to be around. I totally, completely understand that, Tracy. Although Cynthia is pretty kind of moving up the favorite list too. But I'll be honest, I'm still my best. I would still rather be around me than anybody. But being around me with Cynthia here too, that's even better. Even better. And this is for sure. I am the most interesting person I know. Who else has done the shit that I've done? Cynthia's like, you've lived everywhere. Pretty much. When I was in sales, I'd always, you're from, I'm in there. Like, you lie to people all the time. No, I really did live there. I really have been there. I really have done that. You're welcome, Craig. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I have to get my hour of no nonsense, Jeff. Perfect. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Oh, good. See, Celia was way ahead of me. Good. Celia was way ahead of me. See, here's the thing. This is where it gets to you, because sometimes Well, and this is not what Lorenzo's saying, but I have people tell me, well, I can't just quit because I got my Beamer and I got my boat and I got my house and I got my vacation house. Oh, you got what you want. If you really want your great basic purpose, you'll sell the vacation house, you'll sell the boat, you'll get rid of the jet skis, you'll drive a Buick instead of a Beamer, and then you can have some extra damn money towards your great basic purpose. Your great basic purpose is just living like you want to live right now. Oh, that's going to hurt, but it's still the truth. It's still the truth. Okay, what else we got here? There's cousins in the closet. I'm not sure what that means, but it's probably true. Views are more important than subscribers, at least for what we're trying to do, for sure. For sure. I like that. Imaginary man. I don't think I've ever worshipped myself, but I should try it. Does that involve like a full-length mirror in like baby oil? How's that visual, everybody? Boom. We're not looking for Klingons. We're looking for world changers. Tracy's with me on what? The oil in the mirror thing? I don't think that's what she was talking about. Is Cynthia laughs out loud. Oh, it is self-isolating. It really is. I was thinking, what the hell? My give a damn is busted. Magadib. I like it. I like it. Empty your cup so that it may be filled. That's right. Unindoctrinate yourself, bitches. That's what I keep saying. That's what I keep saying. Sterling is more hardcore than I am. I don't know, Tracy, but all socialists and communists have been LEMIShed. All socialist and communist movements have been LEMIShed. No doubt about it. They're goo-goo for gurus. That's funny. What did Annie say? Uranus is a gas giant. It is, isn't it? Well played. Well played. Al Capone. How about an Al Capone quote? Don't mistake my kindness for weakness. I'm kind to everyone, but when someone's unkind to me, weak is not what you're going to remember about me. I like that, Al Capone. Good shit. And did you know the LEMISH gangs made Al Capone look like a Girl Scout cookie salesperson? But we won't get into that right now. Don't channel spirits. Don't listen to fly-by-night gurus. Know thyself. Do some research. Use some discernment. Boom. And look, Daz the Druid dropping more wisdom. He's right. She's right. They're right. Let's see. What else we got? There's a lot of good stuff. Nothing to fear in this life or the next. Daz the Druid's on fire. Let's see. This doesn't get said much, so we'll let it show. You're right, Jama. Ha, ha, ha. It's a joke. Jeff, second time reading it through, third time, went back to fear, and all the blood showed itself. I knew something was up. Yep, boom, there you go. There you go. Wearing a mask and standing 6 feet apart, that's pretty much the definition of fear. Yeah. I don't think ignorance is that blissful anymore. Well, ignorance is bliss because you don't have to have any responsibility. That's why it's bliss. I'm not putting on a mask. The hell with them. Or if it says you have to wear a mask, I'm going to wear that bitch right up here on my head. I got a mask on. They didn't say you got to wear it over your. There's one city that we go to that supposedly the mayor said you can't come here without a mask. I want to read the statute, and I hope it just says wear a mask. I'll wear a damn mask. I'll wear a Batman mask. It's a mask. Oh, you'll see that shit on the news. I'm laying on the ground handcuffed, but it's a mask. Well, they're tasing me. I wouldn't let it get that far. All right. I wore mine like a bra the other day. There you go, Brandon. That's what I'm talking about. Did you have just 2 or 1? Did you have just 1 or 2? Boom! I love it. Deprogram. That's the hardcore method. I did that one too. Worked for me. Touch and go for a while. Guys, did you know that back in the day I did that? Sell everything, follow your heart. And you know, you want to be a vegetarian and all that, but I could get a package of 48 chicken hot dogs from Walmart, and I swear to you, it was like $6. No, it was $2.99. 48 chicken hot dogs for $2.99. Throw in a couple of bags of 88-cent buns. Dude, I'm telling you. And I could have told you everything that was $1 at McDonald's and what day it was $1. I knew when it was double time there. Oh, man, I knew when Steak and Shake had the happy hour. It was some tough times. But tough times never last, but tough people do. I know that is Lisa says, use a bandana. It's killing me, Lisa. Left or right? Left or right? Don't tell me. Make me wonder. I know, Daz the Druid. That wasn't the point. The point was I was a hungry bitch, and they were cheap. And ramen noodles, not that bad. Little Worcestershire that you steal from your neighbor, or you get those little packs. Put that shit in there. Yeah, anyway. You'll do what you got to do. A man with a mission or a woman with a mission does not fear the elements or feel the elements. And if you want something, you'll always find the money for it. Lisa's the blonde, everyone. Just so you know. Well, folks, I got to go eat. I think I'm starting to get a little hangry. I was cheap, is what I'm saying, Daz. I was cheap at that time because I quit and I quit, but my rent didn't. So there you go. All right, folks. I appreciate you being here. Namaste, bitches. We are the last generation of real humans. We're here to change the world. We're in the world changing business. That business is a booming. Things are not bad and getting worse. They're good and getting better. It's not the end. We're going to win, 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 and win again. For Tracy Dyer and all of our great moderators, and for the lovely Cynthia, I'm Jeffey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, saluting you for being here, seeking after truth, reminding you that you're divine, sovereign, and free, and encouraging you to guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, be your own guru, unindoctrinate yourself, and then let's get busy.